Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm back at it again. It's it's Sunday. It's Sunday. It's a holiday. Uh, but most people won't know this, but it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We appreciate you. We see you. We know it's the one day you get outside your birthday as a man, but yeah, yeah. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Even the deadbeats must know. Today, it's about you. It's a Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Hope everybody enjoys their Father's Day. And for the deadbeats and those going through daddy issues, I want you to understand that in life we all go through these issues. It is what it is. Um, but the best way to go about dealing with it is to not let it consume your peace. Always focus on the peace, and everything else will somehow fall into place. Right? Isn't that a cliche thing to say? Preferably, rather, that's a cliche thing to say, rather than me having you hate your father. Not needed. Love men. Men are people too. Happy Father's Day. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's another episode. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day. Uh, yeah, we know Father's Day is not celebrated in most houses, so so for those who get it, good for you. God blessed you. Happy Father's Day. There's not much to say about that. The world doesn't care about men. Okay, the world doesn't care about men. So whether it's your birthday or it's Father's Day, they don't give a shit. But anyway, happy Father's Day. Please let's get into it. We got some news. We got some news. So what I'm gonna talk about today is what I've been reading on these past few days. Build One South Africa, right? Mmusi Maimane's political party, BOSA, has announced they want to push a fair pay bill through parliament. I mean, a fair pay bill. That's 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 a good thing. that's that cannot only be a good thing, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I have some notes as always. I'm gonna be going through the notes and making sure that everything is factual as best as I can, and also giving my thoughts on it. So here I go, right? The point why he's driving this is to end the practice of employers asking job seekers for previous payslips when setting salaries. Let that sink in. Did it sink in? I mean, we've all had that complication you get at work where a person's earning more than you, but you guys are doing the same job. Now, this is a complicated thing. This is a complicated thing. Addressing it is also a complicated thing. Sometimes people make more money than you, not because you're doing the same job as them, but because they've been there longer than you. Their years of service. And somehow there's no acknowledgement of these things. This happens. This does happen. You'll be in a company for 10 years, someone shows up. You won't be happy that person shows up having the same job as you that you had to work up to for 10 years, and they make the same amount as you. You'd want some type of reciprocal loyalty shown to you by the company. It's a weird thing, but that's one side of that coin. Another part of this, and this is another weird thing about it, is when you want to get a job and it's of a certain caliber, certain entry point, certain point, you want to be equal to everyone else, because somehow it's been driven in that the starting point of everyone's career is going to be an equal point. There's going to be equality to some extent, which I don't think is practically what people see in real life. It's not a thing. We all start different in life. We all have different speeds of progress. We all move different. When I see this fair pay bill, I see it for the goodness it does, that it can do, but I also see it for the destruction it can cause, because not everyone is new at a job. Some people have over decades of years of service. They wouldn't appreciate that type of application of a fair pay bill. Now, there's more to this. When it comes to maybe doing extra work at your workplace, and there's extra compensation being given for that work, it is possible, it does happen, that the people get excluded intentionally, where now you're basically doing extra work for free. It's not a good way to think about it sometimes, but look, you have to do extra work to show up at the company, to show that you're there. I think doing extra work at a company just here and there helps show that you're not just there to push time, to push hours. You're there to actually contribute to the productivity of the place, and you're willing to make accommodations for the place, for the company. Now, the complication comes when you want to get paid for extra work, but you don't know how much the average is getting paid for, like average person at that workplace is getting paid for that extra work. And to get the answer for that average tends to be difficult. Why? Because of people's employment contracts. Most people know this, but when you get employed, okay, it's in your contract. You sign an agreement, an NDA. You're not going to disclose your salary to colleagues, peers, anyone. It is private between you and the employer. Look at your contract. So that's where the complication now gets in, right? First part of that complication. You can't just go out there disclosing your salary at work. Anyone can tell you this. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. It's first gonna be seen as arrogant and bragging, but also it's stupid. It just puts a target on your back. You don't want people knowing how much you make. Okay? That's just adult thinking. Okay. Second bit of this. Second bit of this is trust, right? Even when it comes to the people you trust, when it comes to money, you get to see a different side. Ask anybody. Money will show you sides of people you never thought they had. And when you see these sides in people, you need to understand, because now the line between you being wise and you being smart gets thrown. You need to understand that the person is not in their right state of mind. Yes, they are not intoxicated. Yes, they're not high. Yes, they're not drugged. But you should at least be able to conscientize that because of money, a person is capable of not being in their right state of mind. I'm digressing a little bit. Let me focus back to what I'm saying. Now, what I'm saying is when you want to get paid for extra work and you want to get paid fairly, it's often best for you to have knowledge of what already is being paid for that specific job. It helps with the negotiations for that pay. And if you don't know, you open yourself up to being exploited. And that does happen. People do get exploited. Do you see the complications being knitted together now when it comes to this fair pay bill and it disclosing your salary, right? And in other cases, when I'm applying for a job, even if it is a promotion of some kind, they will request your previous payslip, not so that they match it, but rather so that they know where they can pay you and where they can cut their losses or where they can save money. And this is a selfish way companies go about hiring people. This part of it, I don't agree. Pay for the service you're getting, pay for the value of what you're getting. And companies in this point try to undercut people's salaries and not pay them their value, which is, I don't agree with this. It's unethical. But then again, we know these things happen. It's the knitting of this net that they have. It's so complicated because each string is tied to another string, and to untie one string, you'd have to untie other strings. But yeah, so when you want to get extra money, get paid extra money for a job, you better have information about what is being paid. And when you want to apply for another job, it's better to have a, it's better to have paperwork that says that you're receiving a lot of money than to have paperwork that says you're receiving little money. Because when you have paperwork that says you're receiving little money, in most cases they will pay you the same amount, if not a little bit higher, which will usually not be the market rate, what is being paid standard across the board. That's where they're trying to undercut you. So this fair pay bill, again, I said I see it for the good and I see it for the bad. But I have notes. I want to go back to the notes. There's points, okay? There's points. Here are the benefits for a fair pay bill from the notes, right? It will reduce poverty, right? It also helps close the gender gap and the racial pay gap. That's another sore point, unfortunately. That's a sore point, right? There is a racial pay gap happening. It's not just exclusive to South Africa, but there is a racial pay gap happening. And yeah, yeah, we all know why people at the top of this food chain, Afrikaans speaking, not the English, but Afrikaans speaking white people at the top of this chain. Then at the very bottom, you got your foreigners, right? Your South Africans, black people, but black foreigners as well. So, yeah, yeah, right. But also, they say that it's good for countering economic shifts, right? So, what do they mean by this? When inflation happens, right? When changes like COVID happens, when people's pay is good enough, they have buffers, they can weather these storms. Versus when people's pay is poor, when things like these happen, they don't have buffers, so it hits them hard and hits them immediately. Yeah, yeah. Another thing is men face higher job losses, right, in sectors like manufacturing. And in situations like that, a woman's wages become critical for family stability. Now, this is in the context of a family where a man and a wife both are employed and they have a house, kids that they're leading and growing. Having one person lose employment while another person still has employment and is getting paid relatively well or equal to you does help you create buffers, does help you weather certain storms, certain months, right? But what about the what 30 something percent, 40 something percent of women who are single mothers? Okay, they don't stay with men. And also the same, there's fathers, single fathers, they don't stay with mothers, they don't stay with women. It's 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 the it's the knitting that I keep talking about. Everything is so intricately woven together so that it's locked. It's not for the sake of untying it, but for the sake of making it hard to untie. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But let's continue. So I've told you the point that he's using to drive this paper. But Musa has a point in certain things, right? A paper addresses more things than just the point he's driving, right? The Fair Pay Bill also addresses historical inequalities, right? We have something called a salary ban that a Fair Pay Bill introduces when in effect, right? It prohibits employers from requesting past pay slips, right? This is for the sake of preventing the perpetuation of wage discrimination. Okay. So I understand that part. I understand that part. It's all good because it also addresses that part of it. And the second part of it is it enforces the equal pay for equal work thing, which I also agree with. Equal pay for equal work. But now there's other factors to the concept of work. It's not just the work, because if that was the case, people would not need companies. Everybody would be a freelancer. You just show up to a place, work, and leave. You wouldn't need to be going to one specific place all the time. You could change. Tomorrow we'll go work one place, tomorrow go work another place. They're all places that offer work, they're all places where working is working, which doesn't make sense. Okay, when you work for a specific place, okay, you start having something called years of service, which is like a ruler. It's like a meter that they use to count how many years you've been giving to the company, working there, right? Overtime, your holidays, everything, right? That is to give you a little bit more credit than someone who just showed up, a newbie. And that is expected in all aspects of life, not just employment. This bill also seeks to address the youth unemployment crisis, which is sitting at 45% right now as we speak in South Africa. Goddamn, right? So the bill mandates salary transparency in job ads and sets minimum standards for internships and apprenticeships. Now, I get the internships part. What I don't get is the apprenticeships. South Africa doesn't have apprenticeships anymore. They discontinued those years ago. But as for the internships, I agree. There should be a standardized payment system for all internships. It shouldn't be that this intern gets paid more than this intern, but they came at the same time working for the same company. It's backwards. And if this is an intern for 2 years and this is an intern for 1 year, there should be questions. Why is this an intern for 2 years? Aren't you an intern for a year and then afterwards there's supposed to be something that happens, right? But we all know shady things do happen in South Africa, like contract workers who'd be casuals for more than 6 months, for more than a year. It happens. That's South Africa for you. Now, yes, it's addressing the youth unemployment situation, but there's more to this, right? There's more to this. So this bill also aims to combat the exploitation of young workers who often earn less for identical work to older peers. Didn't I just speak about this though? That sometimes people earn more than you, not because you're doing the same job as them, but sometimes just because of the years of service. It means something. Because if years of service don't mean anything, then loyalty to a company shouldn't mean anything as well. And when that becomes the message, the agenda, it, it's not nice. Okay? Even you, if you were to have a company, you wouldn't want that to be the message you give out to your employees. It puts you on the losing side. It's a well knit situation. A well knit situation. So, after explaining all of this, what do I think? I think the agenda is good. I think the point is good. What I have a problem with, and it's okay, you can have a problem with me too, it's why is it Build One South Africa being the one to lead this as an agenda? I mean, when you look at small parties like Build One South Africa, like your IFP, like what is that other one? What is that other one? Port Agada's one, Rise Mzansi. You know, you you can't help but look at these as parties that are there just to sow division. Like, why are you there? You barely have a percent of a vote. Why are you there? You sowing division. You're saying you're gonna grow, but that growth is only gonna come at the cost of another party's constituency. And what does that mean? Dividing up people from one party to your party. You're causing division. it doesn't help the political agenda from where I stand. It doesn't help the political agenda that they are the ones pushing this. It's a good idea, it's a good point. But for you guys to be the one doing it, I mean, what happens when you get it right? You'll pull 5% from every party. So 5% divided from every party. And for you, it's a game. I don't understand. How is there supposed to be unity that way? So yeah, that is my story, one story for today. Um, I like politics. I like business. I like finance. I like reading. Okay, I like news. It's just when I look at situations like this, I can't help but see it differently, see it as a whole. I don't know. Or I'm seeing it narrowed. I don't know. I don't know. But I think they sort of been better championed by, you know what? It's going to be better championed by a DA, by by a by an ANC, by an MK. As chaotic as they are, if they championed this, it would have had a bigger impact. But for Build One South Africa to be the one, I don't know. It's like a low voice trying to get the attention of a crowd. I don't know. Anyway, there's another story I want to get at. There's another story I want to get at. So Zimbabwe, Filabusi, right, is having a gold boom. Okay, these guys' economy is blowing up. That area. I don't want to say small, but that rural area right in Filabusi in Zimbabwe, it's southeastern Zimbabwe. It's a rural area. These people are building modern houses, buying houses cash, buying cars cash. These guys are buying alcohol by the bottles, not by the dumpies. I mean, Jesus, Jesus. I mean, 3 years, 3 years. Get pictures of what that place looked like 3 years ago and look at what it looks like right now. Filabusi is doing a lot. The mining going on there, the gold being extracted there, the business. Jesus, Zimbabwe. And I've been saying it for years. Zimbabwe is going to make a comeback. Zimbabwe is going to make a comeback. So I got notes. I got notes. I'm going to try to say it and structure it in a way that sounds good for Zimbabwe because I'm patriotic. I love Africa. I love my country. I love South Africa. So I'll say it in a good way, right? The Makumbe 7 gold mine is one of the highlights of Filabusi. Okay, people are allowed, citizens of Zimbabwe, but people are allowed to go there as artisanal miners and mine their own gold. There's only commission given to the mine and they keep their own gold. And because of Zimbabwe's gold mines weren't as exploited as South Africa's ones, they don't go as deep. There's still more gold. Should they go deeper? They've only gone like less than 2 kilometers. Less than 2 kilometers. Okay, it's crazy what's happening there. South African government should look at this. They should look at this. What's happening economically speaking? I want you guys to see it from my perspective, okay? The boom is big. So people are mining the gold. With the gold, they're getting the money. With the money, they're buying bricks, they're building houses. But this is happening at a big scale. This is like 100 people, 200 people doing this at a month. You know what I mean? This is happening at a big scale, okay? So there's a boom happening with the construction industry, okay? And then this is a rural area. It's in the middle of nowhere. So people need cars, high cars, off-roading cars. Okay. So there's a boom happening with the car market. People are buying more luxury cars because they're making money like that. They're mining gold. So they're having nice houses, kind of a nice house and a shit car. You gotta have a house that matches the car, a car that matches the house, right? Another thing that's happening, right? Nightclubs. Nightclubs, bars popping up everywhere. People have money. If you can't see what gold is doing for that place, what artisanal mining is doing for that place, South African government needs to look at this. They need to look at this. I mean, they have residential areas popping up. It's not just gonna be like a one house or one street. You have a whole neighborhood being built at the same time. I don't know. This is what happens when the potential of Africans gets unlocked and wealth is distributed to them fairly, equally, and opportunity is given to them. I mean, the closest you have here in South Africa that looks like that in Zimbabwe is your Venda, your Mpumalanga, your Limpopo. But come further down and you see what you call post and pre-apartheid developments. Your Santons, Midrand, Joburgs, going all the way to Ikuruleni, Soweto, Deep Sloot. And then if you go further down to your Cape Towns, that's where you see the development at its highest level, at its peak, and you get to see who's running it. So when you look at what they have in Filabusi, and you look at what they have in Venda, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, it's extremely different from what people have in Joburg, Durban, and Cape Town. No, scratch Durban out of that. Joburg and Cape Town. Durban is coming somewhere. Durban is coming somewhere. They ain't gonna trust. Okay? They're doing something with that land. They're doing something with that land. Now, gold mining in Zimbabwe, there was a big documentary happening like 2 years back, Gold Mafia trying to expose Zimbabwe for I don't know what, because I don't know what they were doing that was wrong. To me, everything looked legit. A government is trading their gold using their citizens. What? I don't get it. Personally, I don't get what Al Jazeera was trying to do there. Nonetheless, Zimbabwe is doing good for itself with the gold industry. It's decentralized and it's becoming nationalized. So they're doing good for themselves. The policing there is great, it's good. So I just see an upside for Zimbabwe if things continue the way they do. The only thing I see that would become a problem would be over involvement into people's incomes by the government. I mean, if the government can have a tax rate that they charge everyone and then just cap it there, they don't get too involved in people's finances. I think that would make Zimbabwe's economy even better. Okay, people wouldn't feel the need to hide so much. But yeah, they're doing a lot. It's impressive. It's just impressive. So many black not sorry, so many black Africans are benefiting. I don't I don't know. I mean, countries need to take notes. South Africa should take notes. South Africa should take notes. Filabusi, Zimbabwe. That's it. That's my rap. I'm out. Till the next one. Cheers.